last week that a major investor group is in discussions to purchase the crew and keep them in Central Ohio. Deal isn't done yet, though. Still with us is reporter for The Atlantic covering soccer, Andrew King. Joining us as well is the leader of the local Save the Crew movement, Morgan Hughes. Welcome back, Morgan.
Hi, Ann. Thanks for having me back.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And by phone, we have the editor for Curbed Austin, with Cindy Widener, who's been covering this story. Welcome to the show, Cindy.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So what are people saying in Austin about this?
There's not, people are feeling like it's a win-win, as our mayor put it, because there is apparently something happening with a different MLS team approved by MLS that is going to play in this hypothetical stadium that hasn't been built. So,
right.
So people are fine with it. The soccer fans are fine with it. There's another contingent of people that don't hate soccer, but are concerned about the specifics of the stadium and its cost.
Right. Whatever team does make it to Austin, it won't be for a few years too, right?
Well, maybe. It's the local daily quoted a source, an unnamed source on it, who said it could be sooner than that. If it were going to be the crew being moved here, they were going to try to get them playing by next season. I'm sorry, I'm not a big soccer person. I'm more of a buildings person, so I don't know when the season starts, but or if it's already happening.
It's just about ending, but yep.
Okay. So, the source says that a 2019 launch has not been ruled out yet.
Okay.
The thing is that there's sort of stadiums or places to play galore here right now. In addition to a field called House Park, where the USL team played the Austin Aztecs, there's a Formula One racing facility that's also sort of a general events facility, and they have built a sort of multi-purpose field, and they have a USL team playing there now. So that would probably be that was where they were talking about playing, if it were going to be the crew or the renamed crew or however.
Okay, whatever it's called.
Right.
I need to correct myself on two things. Andrew King is with The Athletic, not The Atlantic.
Right. Okay.
And also, I've been saying that the next crew game is this week. It's next week. I got my weeks mixed up, next week. So for everyone listening, I don't know if there's tickets available or not. Morgan Hughes?
The next crew game is this Sunday, but we're at Orlando. The next home game is October 28th against Minnesota United.
Right. So tell me how, we've heard about fans hitting the bars and celebrating and toasting and all of that kind of stuff. So you're pretty confident that this is a thing.
Well, all I can do is look at the statements that have been released by Major League Soccer, by, Precourt Sports Ventures, by all of the parties that are involved in this saying, we're now committed to keeping the team here. We're, just signing, crossing the T's, dotting lowercase J's and waiting for the ink to dry. And, that looks good to me. We're really excited. We know that, even when it's announced, the crew is here for good in some formal ceremony where Don Garber's holding a crew scarf, we know the work isn't done. We still have a lot of work to do to make sure that this team is woven deeply into the fabric of this community, not just now, but for ages to come.
And ages to come, there is the issue of the stadium. We had a caller come on and say they don't want any public funding for it. What is your sense about that?
Well, the great thing about the Save the Crew movement is while, what we do keeps us extraordinarily busy, one of the things we don't do is build and fund stadiums. That is left to the people who are going to buy the team and the people who do that kind of stuff. So, we get to be blissfully not worried about that, and cross bridges when you come to them. We're we're not there yet. We have a game on Sunday. We have a ticket drive going right now still on SaveTheCrew.com. So we don't, stadium funding is not my thing.
What's a ticket drive?
So if you go to SaveTheCrew.com, we are doing a ticket pledge so that when new ownership finally takes over, we can allow them to hit the ground running as best we can as a movement with contact information for people that say we will buy tickets once the ink is dry. It's over 12,000 right now, and we are still promoting that, taking information. So go there, sign up, and let's make this thing as strong as possible.
And you're talking about season tickets.
Season tickets, multiple game packages, anything in between.
We talked about earlier in the program the role that the Save the Crew group had in all of this, and that it's the first time ever a grassroots movement has stopped the wheels turning away. What do you think it was about your group? What do you think you did differently maybe than other grassroots organizations?
The people. The people are the victors here, whether it's somebody that's helped out with Save the Crew, whether it's new ownership, whether it's just residents of Columbus or fans of soccer around the world. The real lesson here is that when the people stand up and say, we shall not be destroyed, you cannot do this to us. We can do anything. We can change the world, and we just got to do it together. And that's the real lesson here. We said we had some early victories, and we had a message that was relatable and honest, and we repeated it until people probably got tired of hearing this is not
what
over.
Were your
Tell
early
everyone
victories?
We had a decision day, which was, I guess, it was going to be a year ago this Sunday, all around the league. There were 11 home games. There were Save the Crew signs in each, stadium. Every supporter group banded together behind us. There were 1,000 things that happened in the early days and the early hours that just kind of blew us away, and told the powers that be that not only is this not over right now, we're not going to stop until our team is saved and our community is not destroyed.
Cindy Widener, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
I cut out, and I wanted to say something because there's something going on. My phone keeps cutting out. So.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
While I'm here, if you want to ask me.
Okay. Was there a sense of kind of people feeling bad in Austin that they were taking this team away from Columbus?
Yes, I think it was a little, there was certainly no glee about it. There was a lot of excitement about having a soccer team. One of our council members, who actually also is not crazy about the stadium, actually traveled to Columbus. I don't know if she spoke to you, Save the Crew, but she wanted, she was against the stadium, kind of, or had questions anyway, but to talk to them about what it meant to take the team away. And I did not see a lot of social media or anything, that was happy about that particular. It was more like people were kind of not thinking about it, didn't want to think about, that impact. And we're very happy when it emerged that the Crew was, that this deal was in the works to keep the Crew in Columbus, and it didn't mean we weren't going to get a team. Now,
there are questions and concerns in Austin about spending a ton of money, particularly public money, on a new stadium, right?
There are concerns. It's not like, I would say, a typical stadium in the sense that there's not any bond money or anything like that. The big contribution that the city has is it's on city land, and Precourt is going to pay for building it, and pay rent after it's built. However, they're not going to pay property taxes.
Forever?
The deal's not done, obviously, but yes. I think the whole point of kind of getting the stadium deal had something to do, this is just a theory, with trying to get the Crew here, but no, forever. They will pay rent. They will, and then there's some transportation infrastructure that needs to go there. They want to get a rail stop there. It's about 10 miles from downtown, which is not their first choice.
Yeah.
And other costs that are related that the company will pay into capital maintenance and that kind of thing. That'll kick in after a few years. So it's not a lot of tax money going to the stadium or bond money. It's not getting any tax revenue.
It's foregone revenue.
That land.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yes, there are people that are very upset about that, including people on the council who, want to see that land developed because now it's practically central Austin because Austin has been booming so much, but want to see other aspects, see other proposals for different kinds of development.
It's interesting. It's hard to believe, Andrew King, that there is the property available in downtown Columbus now.
Right.
It's like all that's left.
Yeah, it's that, and then there's the Franklinton idea, and those are pretty much, if you're trying to get it really close to downtown, that's pretty much all that's left. There was some talk of some space like over like on the other side of Nationwide, like more to the east, but you're really starting to wedge stuff in there. Yeah, there's just not a lot of space left.
Yeah,
and I mean that's what they found in Austin as well, which is what it was like. What was available was like the parks, and Austin said, no, we're not giving you our parks.
What's a standard stadium like these days for soccer? What's the going thing?
When you say...
If the Crew Stadium is dated and kind of bare bones, what are we talking about is more typical being built these days?
A lot of stadiums have partial roofs. They've got, different types of seating rather than just metal bleachers.
Yeah.
They've got, one of the things that a lot of stadiums are really focusing on now is like fan environment, like the atmosphere. Mm-hmm. So they put in like stands that are meant for standing, where the supporters groups like Morgan and others, can actually go and stand the whole time, and it makes sense because they're not standing on seats.
Right.
They've got, as your economist mentioned, luxury boxes that can make some more revenue, better amenities. I think you probably could figure out ways to get better food and stuff in Moffrey, but I don't think a lot of that infrastructure is there already. So, just having the ability for like, smaller restaurants and stuff to be on premises, things like that. Just all that stuff that isn't necessarily, necessary, I guess, but
to play the game.
Right. But that makes for a better, fan experience, if you will.
Morgan Hughes, do you think a bigger, better, fancier stadium will attract more interest just from casual fans or people who just are looking for something to do?
Well, I think...
Does it make a difference?
I think a bright, shiny new object always draws more attention, whether you're driving down the street in your car or you're a soccer fan in a market. But I'll say this of Moffrey Stadium. It was the first soccer-specific stadium in the league. So we always felt, as Save the Crew, that we were being unfairly judged for being the foundation upon which the entire league was built, which is why respect your roots. And if it can happen to us, it can happen to you, it can happen to anybody, kind of was our mantra. That place is holy ground in American soccer, perhaps the most holy of all, the holiest of all grounds. I love that place. And when they built it, they didn't know what they didn't know. And so everything that has been built since, every single thing in Major League Soccer has the great, fortune of looking to the past and going, what did the pioneers do that we can maybe improve upon? We never liked that we were being almost destroyed for it. And it's not okay to do that to the foundation of your building, your league, your community, what have you.
Morgan Hughes, thanks for joining us again, and congratulations so far on what looks like success in keeping the Crew in Columbus.
Thank you. It's been pretty dang cool. The future is bright.
Morgan Hughes, he's leader of the local Save the Crew movement. Also, Cindy Widener, editor for Curbed Austin. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate your input.
Yes, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
And Andrew King, reporter, covers soccer for The Athletic. Thanks for joining us today.
Anytime. Thanks.
And thanks to everybody else for listening. This is All Sides with Ann Fisher on 89.7 NPR News.